Okay, let's see here. Oh, silly. I'll take her out. Okay.
Here we are. This is the Yai Publishing House. Yai Publishing House? Ooh, it's Auntie Aratani! I know Auntie Aratani!
Oh, Klee is always adorable.
Auntie? Who's that calling me Auntie? Oh, it's the little girl who came with Mr. Calx. How can I help you, little girl?
Auntie Aratani, can you help me get Dodoko's story printed so that everybody can see it?
Dodoko? Oh, so you've been writing a story, huh? Is Dodoko the main character?
Not only that, Dodoko is also real. Look!
Huh? I don't quite understand.
We better explain this to her.
Oh, I see. Oh, I'd love to help you make this wish come true, but I'm sorry. The deadline has passed for accepting printing orders for the Irodori festival.
Auntie, are you saying Dodoko won't be able to meet everyone after all?
Oh, I'm sorry, little girl.
Oh, Klee, don't be upset. You still have me and the Traveler. We'll think of something.
Yeah, we'll find a way.
Miss
That's how it usually
Aratani,
works.
is there any way at all we can still get this printed? We can pay extra. And if you're short on staff to help with the printing, I can pitch in.
Miss Yoimiya, I understand your sentiment, but I'm afraid it's not as simple as that. We've been printing many people's personal works for this festival, and a lot of the books are already well behind schedule. The printing press is already working overtime to try and catch up. At a
Okay.
time like this, we really can't squeeze any more jobs in.
What do we do? Seems like we might have to give up on this idea. No, I won't let that happen. I remember this one time when I was little. Pop said he'd take me to the festival, but he was so busy with work that he forgot all about it.
Okay.
I waited and waited and kept wondering when Pops was finally gonna take me there. Eventually, people started coming home from the festival. That night, I cried miserably. To this day, I still remember how sad I felt. I don't want Klee to feel the same way. If we can't get it printed, then we'll just have to find our own way. I can paint. Over the next few days, I'll paint as many as I can. Then we'll take those to the festival.
My, Yoimiya has quite a determined spirit. I like it very much.
It's Miko,
Okay.
and Albedo too!
We heard everything.
Oh, Lady Ai.
It's okay, I know. You were just following the rules. Plus, we really are quite behind schedule with the printing. But our mission at Yai Publishing House is to bring dreams and happiness to the masses. It would be a crying shame if we couldn't even help one adorable little girl fulfill her wish. Let me think. Oh, I know. Yoimiya, little girl, you can print your book, but on one condition, okay?
Of course, Lady Guji! Just tell us. Whatever this condition is, I am ready to face it.
Dear me, it's nothing that horrendous. You make it sound like I'm some sort of wicked witch. All I mean is, if you want to get your work printed now, there is only one way. You have to combine it with another print. However, there is only a small amount of space remaining in the book in question. Your book is too big, so you have to reduce it to about half the size to make it fit. Is this a sacrifice that you're willing to make?
Klee, Lady Guji is saying that we can print the book if we shrink it to half the size. Are you okay with that? Yup, I am! Thanks, Miss Guji lady!
What an adorable little girl. Well, that settles it. Aratani, make sure it gets printed with tonight's batch.
Yes, Lady Ai. I'll get right on it.
Combining the prints is a plausible solution, but it'll cause a lot of extra work for the printing press. I am terribly sorry about that.
No problem. Just think of it as my greeting gift for little Klee.
Oh, more screenshots.
Besides, the Yai Publishing House will need your help with the illustrations again next time, Mr. Calx. You could also consider it as my investment in you, All right, I won't disturb you two any longer. Bye-bye now.
Yay! Everything worked out perfectly. Now, we just need to wait for an update from the Eye Publishing House.
Yoimiya, Traveler. Thank you for keeping Klee so exceptionally well entertained for me.
No worries.
Yes, you're right. Klee is family, after all.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay. 8 days remaining, okay. Okay. Yeah. Take a quick diversion for this. That's something I forgot about. 3 days, okay. Yeah, what's wrong? Blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Swing blade! Don't blink!
Be still.
Incoming! Hey! Nowhere to hide.
Leave it all to me.
Someone needs assistance. Speed of light. Don't blink. Incoming. Cut to the chase. Speed of light.
I'll be fine.
Don't blink. Incoming. With sword comes shadow. Speed of light.
Oh boy. Let's switch on my party. That's fine.
Ooh, you're taking me.
Hey! Incoming!
You're in for a little shock. Come a little closer.
Okay.
Hey!
Hang out here.
Be still.
Drunk.
Quantity to my hammer.
Dumpling!
Another test
Hey! Incoming!
Have a little taste.
Speed of light!
Off with you.
Nowhere to hide. Dumpling! Cut to the chase.
Steady as stone, as a durable made wood.
That tingle.
Yep.
That tingle. That tingle.
You're in for a little shock. Try not to enjoy.
That tingle.
Leave it all to me.
That tingle. Kamisato Ari. Suiyu. That tingle.
Incoming!
Pick the wrong test subject.
Okay, clean up. Oh, here we go. Over here. Correctly, this one's kind of annoying to get to. Yeah.
Speed of light! Hey! With sword comes shadow. Incoming! Dumpling! Nowhere to hide. Speed of light! Incoming! Astra Abyssos. Thank you for completing today's commissions. Here is your reward.
Thank you, Catherine.
Ad Astra Ab...
Okay, let's see here. Okay, where are those ley lines? Cool.
I'm all for work-life balance, but I think this is pushing it.
Let's see how well this works.
This world is full of unsolved mysteries. I'll bring my... I will...
should replace my hammer.
Incoming! Speed of light! One, two, breathe. 3. Don't blink! Prepare to be blown away! Incoming! Cut to the chase! Life goes on. Don't blink! Ooh, pretty. I will protect you. With sword comes shadow. Incoming. Booba, get them. Race you! We still have some time to burn. Where should we go next?
Good question. Venti.
Traveler, there you are.
Well, this could be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's Ayaka! And Venti! That's an interesting combo.
I was just going to the festival venue to prepare the Ikebana lesson when I found a strange piece of paper on a flower stand. This bar just happened to be close by at the time. He informed me that you've also found similar papers recently. As such, we came together to find you two.
But the paper she found isn't quite the same as the ones we found before.
Here's the paper. Please have a look.
I submerged the verses into clear water and the truth did emerge. Okay.
Huh. All the poems we found before were roughly the same length. But this one is only 2 lines.
And even though there are only 2 short sentences, neither of them are next to the title or centered on the page. The position of the writing seems to indicate that there is other content written on this paper besides these 2 lines.
If we take the poem literally, it reads, Dip this paper in water and see the truth naturally appear. Speaking of which, I have an ancient text at home, specializing in ancient and exotic stories. It mentions a special ink that will show itself when wet and disappear when it's dry.
So, shall we give it a whirl? It just so happens that there's a pond nearby.
Okay. Yeah,
I'll keep this close.
only 5 greens isn't bad, but still.
Wow, look! It's really working! More words have appeared on the paper! Let Paimon see what it says.
Okay.
Story says that after Sumizomi got the collection of poems from Akihito and put them into a stream of water, the plagiarized words in the poem became blurry. Huh? Why would that happen?
You see, Paimon, in the past, when printing was not yet well developed, handwritten text could easily become smudged in books when exposed to moisture. To ensure the text lasted longer, they'd either write using a special ink or coat the paper's surface with a waterproof coating once the writing was finished. Such special inks are time-consuming and laborious to produce, and the waterproof coating could also prove just as difficult. However, since Akihito's poetry collection was an important gift to be presented to the shogun, surely one of those two methods was used to protect it. But as for the plagiarized poems, not only would they lack Akihito's seal, but the words would also react differently when exposed to liquid.
So this poem wasn't written by Akihito.
Which means Akihito didn't plagiarize his work. He was set up!
Yes, it appears that this is the truth that Sumizome's story is trying to convey. Although the story is saddening, I've decided on the subjects to use for Akihito and Sumizome's portraits. Kazuha, Ayaka, would you be willing to be the models for my paintings?
Sure.
I would be delighted.
Yes, as would I.
There you go. The next 2 portraits should be ready in no time.
Yes. And now that all 4 stories have all been collected, the story of the 5 Kasen is now fully completed.
Long ago, Inazuma had 5 legendary poets. People bestowed upon them the title of the 5 Kasen.
One year, the poet Suiko made his way to Tenshukaku and presented the Kasen's work for the shogun's perusal. But a page from the works of Aoi no Okina had been torn out, and Suiko was questioned regarding the matter. Suiko pleaded guilty. He admitted to drinking at the tavern the night before, and vaguely recalled a mysterious figure approaching while he was intoxicated. That figure was none other than Aoi no Okina himself. This turn of events had begun with an unnamed individual, under whose coercion Aoi no Okina was forced to take drastic measures to retrieve a page of poetry. He knew nothing of this individual's true intentions. All he knew was that the poem had to do with an old acquaintance, Akihito.
Akihito had once belonged to the 5 Kasen. Each poem he composed, he marked with a scarlet red seal, hence the Aka in his name. Such a distinguished writer was he, and yet one of the poems he had submitted the previous year was found to be plagiarized. Akihito was exiled for his crimes, and only 4 of the 5 Kasen remained.
Sumizome went over Akihito's poems and noticed that the plagiarized poem lacked his seal. She immersed his poetry in a stream nearby, and only on the plagiarized poem did the ink run. Aoi no Okina passed by and witnessed Sumizome's doing, which he then recorded in a poem. Thus transpired the events of Suiko's poetry submission, and this is where the story comes to an end.
Yeah, what's wrong?
Yeah. Ever since we completed the story of the 5 Kasen, there's still one thing Paimon hasn't been able to figure out. One of the 5 Kasen is called Kuronushi, right? It's just that, how could the story of the 5 Kasen finish without him appearing at all?
Oh! Have you really not noticed?
Huh? Not noticed what? This is no time to be playing games, Tone Deaf Bard!
What he means is that the story of Kuronushi was already embedded within the 4 poems.
He was the one who probably plagiarized it.
Really?
That's right. The key lies in the poem that Aoi no Okina wrote after seeing Sumizome rinsing the poetry collection. An average person could never understand the scene of a young girl washing Akihito's poetry collection in a stream. Even Aoi no Okina couldn't figure out the meaning behind Sumizome's actions. He was simply reminiscing and thinking about his old acquaintances. However, for the perpetrator who framed Akihito, it was completely obvious. He was worried that if this poem was seen by the Shogun, then the Shogun could discover the truth behind the plagiarism incident. If that happened, then he'd be finished. So, in desperation, he threatened Aoi no Okina to make him tear out this poem.
Which means, the one who threatened Aoi no Okina is the same person that framed Akihito!
The culprit is none other than Kuronushi.
What? Kuronushi?
Yeah.
That's right. Though there are only 4 poems, they still managed to tell the complete story of all 5 Kasen. Since the Shogun mentioned in the poems is certainly not the one of the 5 Kasen, the only character left is the mysterious one with an unknown identity.
Oh, okay. Paimon is finally starting to get it now.
However, this also brings something else to mind. The story of the 5 Kasen has more or less reflected everything that's been happening around us lately. Which begs the question, is there a Kuronushi in our world as well?
A Kuronushi? In our world?
Speaking of which, I wonder if our dear Kazuha has come up with anything.
Yeah,
Oh,
what's up with
right!
him?
Kazuha! He's been pretty quiet this whole time. Let's ask him!
It's all pretty nice. Actually, they're probably be pretty good fun wallpapers, maybe.
Hey, Kazuha! Are you okay? You've been standing in front of this blank canvas for a while, and you don't look so good.
Apologies for making a wild assumption, but has the story of the 5 Kasen reminded you of anything?
Yes. A few things did come to mind, actually. However, they were nothing more than some past incidents regarding my family. I don't mind sharing the stories, but I'd prefer not to bring you any more trouble.
Hey, we're all friends here, Kazuha. You can always tell us whatever's on your mind.
Kaedehara, please forgive my assumption, but perhaps you were thinking of the Raiden Gokuden?
The Raiden Gokuden? What's that?
It appears that Miss Kamisato and I were thinking of the same thing. But it also has much to do with the Yashiro Commission. It would be improper to speak of it here without the consent of Miss Kamisato.
Ooh, intriguing.
It's fine. Those of us here are all trustworthy, so there isn't any harm in it. However, this matter is somewhat complicated and may be difficult to explain. Let me start with the Raiden Gokuden. As you all know, the Yashiro Commission's primary purpose is managing ceremonial and cultural affairs, and Inazuma's art of forging swords is a very important part of our culture. The Raiden Gokuden were once the top 5 schools of the forging art in Inazuma. Although these families were swordsmiths by craft, they also held many important positions in the Yashiro Commission. Unfortunately, of the 5, only the Aminoma art still maintains its artisan lineage. The descendants of the Ishin art are also still alive, but the craft has been lost to time. The descendants of the Ishin art are none other than the Kaedehara family.
Whoa! We knew Kazuha came from a noble family, but we had no idea about his connection to the Yashiro Commission and sword making.
Yes, but that's all part of the past now. The Ishin art was lost with my great-grandfather's generation. My grandfather was dissatisfied with my great-grandfather's lack of effort. When he was young, my grandfather traveled all over Tevat to find a way to revive the family business. But it was to no avail.
That sounds like a great future quest.
And in my generation, our last remaining family property was lost as well.
I heard my elder brother mention that the decline of the Raiden Gokuden happened very rapidly. In the span of a few decades, 3 of the families suffered various misfortunes and disappeared completely. Later, there was speculation that all of these misfortunes stemmed from some background machinations, meaning that someone wanted to wipe out the Raiden Gokuden. However, since not every family of the Raiden Gokuden came to ruin, such explanations were treated as nothing more than a conspiracy theory.
You guys are probably giving Shincho some ideas
Indeed.
for another book.
I've also believed such ideas were just theories and rumors. However, I know that a major incident happened to my great-grandfather when he was young. Not only did it affect the Kaedehara clan, but it nearly jeopardized the Kamisato clan's position in the Yashiro Commission as well. After reading the story of the 5 Kasen, I can't help but feel like it's pointing me toward the truth behind that incident.
What exactly happened to your great-grandfather, Kazuha?
I still can't say. I need to speak with someone to verify the details. Let's meet here again at noon tomorrow. I will tell you everything I know then.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's all interesting. Interesting, and interesting.